What if I told you that the world's next peacekeeping mission was neither about peace nor about keeping anyone safe? What if it was, in fact, the final stage of a decades-long colonial project? A project that military might has failed to achieve. And now, diplomacy is being weaponized to finish the job. For over 2 years, one of the world's most advanced armies has failed to disarm the Palestinian will to resist. So, a new plan is being rolled out. A plan wrapped in the language of stabilization and governance. But peel back the layers and you find a sinister blueprint for permanent occupation. This is the truth about the so-called International Stabilization Force, the ISF. This isn't a path to peace. This is the ISF scam, normalizing occupation by disarming the resistance. The concept of an international force for Gaza isn't new. It's been floated by US and Israeli officials for months. But to understand the scam, you need to look at the architects and their stated goals. Let's be clear. The primary driver of this force is not the United Nations seeking justice. It is the United States dictating terms to protect its primary strategic ally in the region, Israel. Reference 1. The Washington Post, June 2024. Reports based on US officials explicitly state that a key goal of the proposed multinational force is to create a security buffer zone inside Gaza and to prevent cross-border attacks on Israel. Notice the language? It's not about protecting Gaza civilians. It's about creating a sanitized perimeter for the occupying state. This is about managing the occupation more efficiently, not ending it. Reference 2. The Israeli demand. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet have repeatedly stated that any post-war plan must ensure the demilitarization of Gaza and that Israel will retain overall security control. The ISF is designed to be the subcontractor for this very task. It's an outsourced occupation army doing the job that Israeli soldiers can't do permanently without international condemnation. This is the first layer of the scam. They call it stabilization, but they mean pacification. Pacifying a population so that their land can be taken and their resistance can be erased from history. So what happens when this force arrives? Its mission will be to disarm the militant factions. Think about that. The only organized groups in Gaza that have any capacity to challenge the Israeli military are the resistance factions. Disarming them doesn't create peace. It creates a power vacuum. And into that vacuum, who steps in? A puppet administration approved by the US and Israel. An administration that will be tasked with de-radicalization, which is just a code word for forcing Palestinians to accept their own subjugation. Reference 3. The precedent of the Palestinian Authority, the PA. Look at the West Bank. The US-trained PA security forces have one primary function: to coordinate with the Israeli military to suppress Palestinian resistance. This is documented by human rights groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, which have detailed this security coordination. The ISF in Gaza would be this model, but on steroids. A heavily armed international entity ensuring no rocket is ever fired again while Israeli settlements and checkpoints remain unchallenged. This is the goal, is to transform Gaza from a resistance problem into a management problem. They failed to bomb the resistance into submission, so now they plan to administratively surgically remove it. This ensures the occupation remains intact, Israel remains protected from any meaningful opposition, and the Palestinian right to self-defense is stripped away under the watchful eyes of American-backed troops. And what is the grand prize for all this? The full normalization of ties between the Zionist entity and the Muslim world. The Abraham Accords were never about peace for the Palestinians. They were always about isolating them. The Biden administration is actively trying to recruit Arab states like Egypt, the UAE, and Morocco to join this ISF. Why? Because their presence gives the scam of the near of Arab legitimacy. It creates the illusion that this is a Muslim-led solution, when in reality it is a US-Israeli plan being executed with Muslim faces. This is the ultimate treachery. using Muslim soldiers to disarm a Muslim resistance to protect a colonial occupation, all under the banner of an American-dictated peace. It's a plan to make the occupation permanent and irreversible. So if this so-called international solution is a scam designed to perpetuate oppression, what is the real solution? We must look to our own tradition, our own history, and our own faith. Islam does not teach us to negotiate our surrender. It does not teach us to accept a managed occupation. When faced with an occupying force that has expelled people from their homes, desecrated holy sites, and subjected a population to a brutal siege and war, the Islamic solution is clear and has always been based on the principle of collective responsibility. The solution is not to disarm the oppressed. The solution is to mobilize the Ummah. The only legitimate and effective solution to end this decades-long occupation is for the armies of the Muslim nations, from the Gulf to North Africa to Asia, to fulfill their duty, the duty to liberate occupied Muslim land. This is the concept of jihad in its true defensive form, the mobilization of force to repel an aggressor and restore justice. While the traitorous rulers sign normalization deals in luxury hotels, the duty falls upon the Muslim masses to demand that their wealth and their armies be used for the purpose they were meant for, to protect the Ummah, to liberate Al-Aqsa, and to crush the occupation of Palestine once and for all. There can be no normalization with occupation. There can only be resistance and liberation. The ISF is a trap. It is the velvet glove over the iron fist of colonialism. Our job is to expose this scam, to reject it, and to remind every Muslim of their duty. Share this video, break the silence, speak the truth. The path to peace in Palestine is not through disarmament and subjugation. It is through justice, liberation, and the mobilized strength of a united Ummah. Until then, the resistance continues. Stay aware and stay strong.